Photoshop has what's called a workspace, and a portion of all workspaces is usually a menu bar. Photoshop has a Tools panel on the left and an Options bar across the top. And on the right, and sneaky little one down here, are other panels. Years ago, these were called palettes, but in CS4, they changed their official term to panels. So if I look at panel configurations, there are certain things I use for certain tasks. I could open files the long way. If I choose File Open, and I go into my project files and my Chapter 1 and grab this pug photo, with a double click, it's open in Photoshop. But I call that the long way. My favorite way to open files is with Mini Bridge, which has been there for a couple versions. But I did leave this warning here to let you know that Adobe Bridge ships with Photoshop, and it's a separate application that you could launch that works with all of the Creative Suite or Creative Cloud products. So I can launch Adobe Bridge myself because I have a shortcut on my dock, or you could launch it, and I could come back to Photoshop and just tell it that it's launched. When I clicked Launch Bridge, it would have done it for me, but I wanted to show you opening it. It gives me the path for my hard drive. So I'm going to go into my hard drive and into my home folder, and on my desktop, I have my project files. So once I double-click to get in, if I'm working on a given project, I want to see all the assets for that project here. So you could see what images I have so far open. So Mini Bridge, if I double-click, is a panel. Double-clicking on any panel collapses it. A single click will open, but a single click does not close again. A double click will collapse. Same applies over here. I can double-click on color, double-click on adjustments, so I get more room for layers. Double-click again on adjustments and it expands. Double-click again on color and it expands. And one tap on Mini Bridge opens it. And I noticed that I have a New Orleans folder there. If I double-click to get in the New Orleans folder, I could see all of the images that are in that given folder, and I could make it much bigger. There's a lot of options for Mini Bridge. What I wanted to reinforce is there are tasks that I may complete in Photoshop that are very different on a given day. Most days, I'm just doing photo correction. However, I might be doing video editing or 3D. So under your window menu on both platforms is Workspace, and I could choose 3D. Now that's not a task for me today, so I will go back to Window, Workspace, and Essentials, which is the default workspace. In addition, when you launch Photoshop, if you locate the word Essentials on the upper right corner, that is your workspace switcher. It's a quick way to get to the typography workspace. If I'm doing a web page mockup or an app mockup for my iPad or iPhone or mobile and tablet, what I generically call devices, I might be using character and paragraph and building styles so I can do global changes. What this brings me back to is the panel configuration is your workspace, and you can create your own workspaces for how you'd like the panels arranged. I'm going to use my workspace switcher to go back to Essentials. And when I'm in Essentials, I'm going to click on Mini Bridge one time to open it and come back up a level to my Introducing Photoshop chapter and open this second pug image because I want to show you a neat little feature. Not only that he's adorable, this is Capone, like Al Capone, aka the Biscuit, but when he listens to my iPod, classical music puts him to sleep. I kid you not. So if I have both pug images open, I might want to see them both at the same time. Your open documents look the same on Windows and Mac. The only difference is the X is on the left on the Mac. That closes your file. On Windows, the X is on the right to close, just like your programs to close with the X is on the right on Windows. These are your files to open or close. And if I want to see the two pugs side by side, I can grab the file name and drag far right until I see a little blue bar. And when I see blue, I can let go, and now I'm viewing them side by side. I could use my magnifying glass tool and click once or twice to zoom in. Or I could do what's called a marquee zoom, click and drag on a given area like the tongue to zoom in. I can also do Window, Arrange, and choose to tile vertically, which is this configuration, Window, Arrange, tile horizontally, which doesn't give me the best view in this instance. So I will go back to Window, Arrange, tile vertically. And if I pop back down to Mini Bridge and open up a couple more images, I'll double click on this New Orleans shot, and I will leave it at that. I'll double click on Mini Bridge to get it out of the way. Under Window, Arrange, now I have more lit up workspace options. So I can choose 3 up vertical or 3 up stacked, leave a big one on the left, and make the other 2 open photos smaller on the right. But maybe I want this to be the 2 pugs and that to be the Mardi Gras character. I've clicked on the pug 2 and I will fit on screen. I always remember Command 0 to zero it out or Control 0 to zero it out. Command 0 is the Mac shortcut. Control 0 is the Windows shortcut. And that works in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and Acrobat. So if you like to use keyboard shortcuts, that's a great one to learn. But what I could do is drag the New Orleans shot here in with the pug, so one is behind the other, and I'm clicking on each title bar to bring them forward or back, and then take the pug 01 and drag it with this side. But it showed blue around the entire window. This would nest one behind the other. That's what I just did. If I drag a bit higher with the tip of my mouse on the spot where the options bar meets the image, it'll be blue, and now I get pug on top, pug on bottom. So you have lots of ways to arrange your windows, arrange your workspace, and get warm and fuzzy or comfortable in a working environment for you to begin your Photoshop edits. To finish off, I'm going to choose Window, Arrange, and Consolidate All to Tabs. And what that will do is stack one behind the other. Now I'll finish off with a bonus tip for the power users. On the Mac platform, to bring one window forward or back, I use Command and the tilde key. That's the little squiggly line to the left of the number 1 on your keyboard. Command tilde is toggling between Pug 1, Pug 2, and New Orleans. On Windows, that's Control Tab. So I'd hit Control Tab to go to Pug 1, Pug 2, and New Orleans. And I'll finish it off with the last shot of my pug and encourage you to get out there, take a look at Window Workspace, Window Arrange, and even see if you can get savvy with your mouse and drag and drop to do your own custom window arrangements. This has been your tour of the Photoshop Workspace and the Workspace Switcher.